Hi guys, welcome back for another episode of Software Inc. So as a reminder, we're now developing the sequel to our first product, Starfinders. We can see here it actually had a profit of minus 450,000. So that's not our problem for the most part. If we come to the details here, we can see that we've been making sales for this. We did actually push out a couple of updates to fix all the bugs and to primarily update the tech levels in 2D because we had a bit of downtime while we were doing the design stage for Starfinders 2, which is now in production. Now, the issue that we are having with this is a little mistake on my part. If we come to details, if we hover on the project, come to details just here, we can see the features that we are pumping out for this game. Recorded dialogue needs 2 stars in audio to get it done. Now, the reason this is an issue is if we look at the bottom here, we can see the requirements of the design stage for this. Now, in audio, we've only got 1 designer who has more than 1 star. We've got 3 that have 1 star, and we've only got 1 with 3 stars, but none with 2, specifically 2, which means that we've only got 1 person working on recorded dialogue, and that's slowing down our design phase as we get to the end of the design phase, because they're just working on System 2D and OS, and then just the 1 guy is working on audio, which isn't ideal. So we're going to finish off August in the design phase here, then we're going to go straight to developing this to skip the requirements that audio needs, which is what's slowing us down. So they've done OS support, they've now done system, and most of the remainder of the effort will go into 2D there. And as they go home for the day, we'll develop and we'll go straight into alpha. So we'll skip forward, we'll check our computers. They could actually do with some improvements. We'll do that at the end of the day along with cleaning. And we're progressing much faster through the alpha stage now. So because of that wider team, we're able to start pumping out these products a lot faster. However, when we start to produce our next sequel for this, we are going to remove recorded dialogue, and we're just going to work on 1 star features at most, because then we can get through it a lot quicker. And oh look, we have an issue. So our products run out of stock. We are still selling probably an average of about 1,000 units per month. So let's immediately come into the product that's run out of stock because there's no publisher for it now, and order more copies. We're just going to do 4,000 copies. That's going to cost us about 5,000, but that will keep that on sale. But the bigger issue is that they were our publisher for Starfinders 2. Now that's a big issue because we've managed to garner some followers already, which is handy, but we don't have anyone who can take over the marketing for this, primarily to stop the loss in followers that we'll start to get. So if we come to service for our whole team, we can see that we've got nothing for marketing. So we are forced, we don't have to do this. Hello Ethereal, how are you doing? I've just been put into the issue that you had, Ethereal, in the start of an early game here. Our publisher has just been closed down, so we're gonna just hire. We're gonna hire 1 marketing guy, and he's gonna have an office back here. Yeah, it really does suck. May even go for 2. We may even go for 2. So let's remind ourselves here how these stars work. So for marketing, press releases, press photos, press videos. That's fine. We're not worried so much about the press releases, but I am worried about setting hype. So let's build a little marketing office. We'll do very similar design to all of this. We won't use that because we'll use phones instead. And we shall pop 1 of them there. And 1 of them there, just like that. And then we are probably going to need another mini fridge, annoyingly. And let's get our cubicle walls up. Do it something like this. Just to help with sound. And then again with aircon, which is going to have to go here. And then with the radiator, which we'll put over there too. I want a rug right in the middle. Poster, light. Not where I wanted it. Want it there. Not where I wanted it. I wanted it there. Yeah, I think it's best. They can't reach the AC, so let's just pop that there. That's not going to be good for noise for this guy, but so be it. Environment needs to be a bit higher, as it does for this room, but I think... Let's come back to here. Let's pull in cleaning and not maintenance. Cleaning and IT support. But let's come back to this room. We're going to create our team for marketing. So we can come to the teams here, manage teams in HR. Make our new marketing team, which is just going to sit there. They're not going to have any leader for now. We want to hire service, marketing, no other secondary, but on a low salary. Now let's begin searching for those. Put them into marketing, and let's just go by skill. So straight away, this guy's forgetful. I don't want forgetful or computer breakers. Stress is fine. Hypochondriac, no. No stress, no stress. No forgetful, no forgetful. So these guys, somewhere in here, we should have who we need. So he's 2-star in marketing. He can come in. And now we have compatibility with the team. We're all very, very bad. They're all bad. So we'll look again for the second person. Compatibility with marketing. Who are going to have to be a medium salary. So order by skills. This guy at the top is 2 stars in marketing. These are hypochondriacs. Stressed, hypochondriac, cup holder, forgetful, hypochondriac, forgetful, hypochondriac. So that leaves us with these. These are bad compatibility, so we'll go with these guys who are detached, not affected by team compatibility. I forgot to check that. And they're all about the same. It would be nice if they were able to help out with design, I guess. But I don't want a neat freak. So we'll go with this guy here. And then we can actually use our marketing team just to support the development of this a little bit. But they've only got skills in design now that I think about it. So if we check their dev skills, yeah, no skills in dev. So we'll just unassign them. And we're going to come to market this here. We will work on a press release because we can. There's no reason not to get value out of them. And we'll also start to hype it. We've assigned that to the wrong thing. Now, what hype will do, hype will stop us from losing followers if they can keep up with it. And writing a press release will allow us to gain followers when we put that press release down. So that's taking over on the marketing for Starfinders 2 for pre-release. Now, for post-release, we're probably going to take a publisher and we're probably going to fire our marketing team. They're just in here temporarily, and then we'll keep the office. We'll find another purpose for it. But this is just for the release of Starfinders 2 that I'm going to worry about this. So we'll let them do their thing. We'll make sure this room is set to the marketing team. And then we're leaving Starfinders as it is on support. So again, let's start to pass time here. We'll see how long it takes us to get through the alpha stage. We've got until May. I would like more of a beta for this. And we'll just start to see how we get on with this. So we'll just keep time full speed. What I wanted to do here. Oh no, I did my staff, my cleaning, and my IT support already. And I'm tempted at this point to hire permanent cleaning. Probably something like that. Because the demands for it are pretty high already. We're losing some followers there. We'll just select all of my employees here. So they're asking for raises. I can select all. I can just give them 1% rather than what they're asking for. And just go for that here. So what I want to see as the marketing team come in is we want to see this go back down to 0. See if they can fully keep up with demand there. Which it looks like they can for the most part. Or they can't, let's say. Not quite. But that's okay. It's not the end of the world. As long as they're stopping it from dropping down too much, then that won't be the end of the world for us. Now, Starfinders 1 has still reducing in sales. We need more stock for that, so let's order some more copies. Let's go for 6,000 this time. And what we can actually do here, we lost the publisher for Starfinders, and this is the same thing that we'll be doing for Starfinders 2. So we can actually come in here, rather than put this onto our marketing team, who won't be able to keep up with the demand. We can come in and we can come to... not in this screen. So let's come to your releases. Come to Starfinders just here instead, and we can come to Publisher. And we can just give them marketing, because we're just going to keep ordering copies for now until we ditch it off. And we'll give marketing to AFA. That will allow us to keep some interest in our original Starfinders game for now. We might even start to see those active users go up a little bit, which would be nice. But again, the art stage of the alpha here is going to be slow. We don't have the team required for that. See, we've got 3 idle employees you may have seen then. So let's take care of the education of these. We'll educate this guy who can actually get a point in audio, which is going to really help us because of the 2-star. Well, that's art. So it's not going to help us, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world. We've just paid... we haven't paid anything. But we do have our tax bill coming up, so we're going to be in a bit of a situation soon with money. We will continue to push this and get as close to 100% on art as we can. But if we go for Starfinders 3, we're probably going to hire an artist. Our score is good. We can't afford to keep pushing on that. But our score is semi-decent. So we're gonna complete March, and then we're gonna spend all of April on bug fixing. I'm just gonna leave them idle. That's just gonna be okay for now. It's just gonna have to be okay. And then yeah, we'll spend all of April for bug fixing to try and get it going out in a relatively decent state and get some use out of our employees in that way. We'll go ahead and promote that. Right, as they go home. Here we go. So we're in the beta phase for that. And we paid less in taxes. So the timing of this is going to be nice. We're running out of money pretty quick. But it's gonna come in just in time. We're gonna fire this marketing team immediately. Oh, in fact, we need to release that. We're gonna set out a press build. And we'll speed up time. And then truthfully, I don't know the negative effects of doing something like this, but we're going to end the hype for Starfinders 2. We're going to release it. Now, who's a clue? We're going to get no score. Okay, 3 stars. 2 3 stars. That's better than before. We don't have any printing for this, but we're going to take care of printing and marketing through a publisher. So we're going to come straight to our releases, Starfinders 2, take a new publisher, adding both marketing and printing because I don't want to worry about it. And we'll give that to AFA as well. So now we are going to fire our marketing team. Goodbye. I'm ever so sorry. You are gone. First thing I want to do here, because I don't know how this is going to go, is we're gonna take a set a lead designer. I want to start to see what kind of creativity scores we have from our team here. So we're going to take this contract, and we're going to do that just so that we've got money moving in while we're waiting for the first indication of the sort of users that we're going to get for Starfinders 2. And that's going to determine how much effort we put into updates and porting for it. So that was inadequate. We can go for another. We need to do our computers at the end of the day. That's fine. Logistics application. We'll go for me as lead designer. Let's push forward. Now as they go home, we're going to call in IT support. And then once he goes home, skip forward time. So we had very good sales there. Wow. So 627,000. A lot of money in distribution and royalties, but that's to be expected. But that's okay. That means that we can come straight back off of contracts again, and we'll go back into our original plan of hiring some artists and going for Starfinders 3 after we have taken care of updates for Starfinders 2. So we are going to update everything. We're going to update Starfinders 1 with this here. We're going to pause that. Then we're going to update Starfinders 2. And there we go. So we're going to focus on this update for Starfinders 2. We're also, however, going to port this. If we come to details, what we can see is at the bottom of these details at the top here that we've got a consumer reach of 2.5 million. Now that probably will be fine, but we sell 15,000 units, which isn't a lot really, but the price is going well. So, but let's anyway, back to the point, we're going to port this. So we've got, where is it? Where's users? Active users here. So we can port it onto ZGale 5. That is an operating system we're not on at all at the moment. That'll put us onto console. And Next 4. And that will probably be it. This is ZGale 4, which is a predecessor to ZGale 5 is the way I look at it. So we're just gonna, they'll likely scale back support for that. We'll put this to bottom priority. Focus on the update first. See how much this jumps up by. So we did 16k in month 1. Skip forward to month 2 and another 12,000 units. That's good. It keeps us afloat. A lot of money in distribution and royalties, which is obviously one of the big issues early on because you're doing your publishing deals, which slows you down on everything else. This update is already being held back by audio. Everything we're doing is getting held back by the audio art. So we're going to set this team here to core. No, we're not. We're going to separate out our support team. So we're going to disband this team. We're going to make a new team for support. And there was an employee in here that we're going to move over. So service, that's this guy here. So was he helping with art at all? So development, he was doing 2D art. And that was it. So we need an artist, because these we've got no audio at all. We need an artist who can do both. But anyway, we're going to change this person's team. They're going to now make up our support team along with one other person. So we go service, support, no secondary, medium is good, compatibility with support. Begin looking, and we'll just take whoever's got the highest skill. 2 stars, probably going to be 2 stars all the way down. Yes, it is. So we'll just hire this top guy. His traits are fine. And that makes up our team of 2 for the support team. Now, in here, in our core team, we've got 1 available desk. And we're going to hire an artist on a high salary, because I want them to be a very good artist, because I'm only going to hire the one. No secondary, because I want it to be focused on them having as many points in artistry as possible. Specialization, I'm going to put in both of these, because I want it to try and give me people that have both. If we begin looking, we've got 2 people. Neither of them can do audio. So we'll hire again, and we'll make audio the top priority, which I should have done the first time. And we'll look again. 3 stars in audio. Nothing in 2D is really annoying. But they need to be a better programmer than they do a designer. No, we'll go with this guy. He can help out all round. So they're going into the core team. We'll see if that makes much of an impact to the speed that we're getting through things. We'll really be able to tell based on what happens with the speed of the update for Starfinders 2, which should be a big difference. It should be quite a big difference. We'll see how much money we jump up by as we change over. Another 130k. So we've got more than enough to support this. We could have more staff, but I want to make a point of not expanding too fast. These guys can't sit down. That's a load of shit, because they're literally... Oh, it's not a load of shit. There we go. So our support team, these need to be reassigned to the support team, now that we have a support team. Just like that. And they should start to take care of support. So... our update is indeed moving faster. Quite a lot faster, really, because we weren't making any progress before. Oh, we got some training to do as well, which I do want to prioritize. So let's educate Elias. Elias has a skill in programming that he can now take. Currently, he is quite well spread out. Because we seem to be struggling in audio in general, I don't think it's really going to help, because of course it's artistry that we have the issue, but I want it nice and spread. So we'll give him a point in artistry. We'll educate Eliana too, who has a point in design. And again, we'll go for audio. I want to speed up everything to do with audio to try and get ahead of the issues that we're having at the moment. Starfinders 2 update is moving nicely. And we'll be able to finish that up very soon. We're up to 42,000 active users. Starfinders is scaling back. We're still making money, which is good. And the next thing that we will do in terms of hiring is that we won't expand at all. And we're actually going to have a night team come in and use the same offices. So this update is done. They'll now fully focus on the port. And we're going to stop for a moment and we're going to build. What I want to do is I want to have my hallways that I keep talking about now actually incorporated. So this is going to get rid of that aircon just there. But we're actually going to get rid of the aircon altogether, which will give us a bit more space, technically speaking, because we can now grab this desk, marry that up to the wall. Probably this way around. Like that. We'll still go for a separator just there. And then we're going to have one person's desk be a single seater right there, like that. So that gives us another desk. I'm going to move this over because I don't like the way it looks. I want to keep it at least a little bit pretty. I still want that door. Let's get rid of that and give this person their second table. We'll basically be using... We're only using these second tables for aesthetics. It doesn't need to be this big. We can have just the one computer, separate this out with another cubicle wall just there, and they'll be more than happy with that. That would be fine, but I don't like to do it. Doesn't look right. This here is only an issue because there's no door. So we want a door on there. We could go for a second bathroom, which I think I will do. It just looks nice, rounds out the room a little bit. And another hallway down to here. Another door for them too. No, we won't do another door. We will destroy that wall. Cool. Then what we're going to do back here is in this space right here, we're going to pop down a non-glass door and we're going to use a roof AC. What this will allow us to do, we can see that's on the roof there. What this will allow us to do is it will allow us to use AC units that don't go onto the exterior of the building. If I come to function here, you can come down and you can see that we've got temperature. Now, we've unlocked basically the ability to use ventilation, which is this right here. So we can pop that on his back wall for now. We can pop that in here on this wall right here, but I need to press T, bring the walls back up. Let's get rid of all of the ACs. That already is all of the ACs, so we'll pop ventilation there. We'll pop ventilation there. And we will pop ventilation there. These don't need to be on the exterior walls anymore because the roof AC is taking care of the actual airflow there. But we'll keep the electric radiators. Yeah, we will. Why is this room not so good? Let's pop this there. Let's get rid of that one. That looks nicer without it. And that one. And that's just our little support office for the moment. We could technically fit another person in there if we did a desk against this wall, a desk against that wall, and keep that desk how it is. We'd be able to fit a 3-man team in there, but we're going to leave it like that for now. Same with his. And this is looking good in here too. So now that I'm looking at it, I don't like how this is all laid out anymore. We don't need that. We'll grab all this and move this and rotate it so that it sits like that there instead. Then we can get rid of this. And that's just a little bit more symmetrical. This guy's desk is the worst one. And it's making me think that I want to have my ventilation over here, my radiator over here. We will grab all of these things here. We'll just move them to there and grab those in a moment. Grab all this. And we'll move that too. We'll rotate it so it can sit like that. And I just think that looks a bit nicer. I think that looks a bit more realistic, I think is a good word for it. And that's good. And then we can grab this table with a fridge on it. We'll lock it off like that. And they've still got their fridge now. This will be 5 employees in here. This will be too many. We're going to give them a break room. I don't want the fridge in there anymore. They don't need a fridge. So our break room is probably going to be on the back here. So if we grab the wall tool, drag back our hallway, grab our walls again, and we're going to make this our break room. Grab a double door. Again, we'll align that for the middle by holding Alt. Come to furnish, and then we've got break room just here. Now, the things I want to have in here, first of all, is the vending machine. You'll see where it says capacity, that can handle 20 employees before you need to get more, and we'll pop that at the back there. Now, next to that, I'm going to have a table, another black table. I'll just copy it from here for speed. And we'll do 2 of those. One's going to have an espresso machine on it, a water cooler at the end, and then I was thinking mini fridge, but I don't actually need a mini fridge now that I think about it. So we'll go with coffee machine as well. We don't actually need both of those, but that will do for the moment. We'll have a sofa, which will make white, blue, yeah, blue. Another sofa. Bookcase, plant, and we want one of these red rugs again, just in front of all of that. And we'll grab one of these game posters. This is actually a mod I've got installed, just for these 90s game posters that you can put in your rooms. They give you a room environment and mood boost. You can get to that 100% or 200% environment nice and easily without that, but I just think they had a nice little touch to the game personally. We're also going to add in the tripod lamp, which will be our lighting in here, and we can see that's more than enough lighting. The only other things this needs, it needs ventilation, and it needs its own radiator, which I can put behind the water machine. And that's our break room done. So we now don't need the fridge in here. We can keep moving forward. And IRL, I'm getting very hungry. So after this will be the last episode that we actually make for the day. And we'll push out our update for Starfinders. I want to get Starfinders off of our support team. Once we've ported Starfinders 2, we'll update it again. And then we'll get working on Starfinders 3. But Starfinders 2 has been a success. Let's come here. So we've got more recent research come out. We've got games that have come out. And that's all affecting our sales. So we're going to cancel our port, maybe. Yeah, I'm cancelling our port. We'll put more focus on our updates, because we need to get this over to the latest. And that gives me one more thought. One thing you want to do with your team and their effectiveness when it comes to your projects is you want to have a server which will, for the most part, it's going to reduce the bugs that they produce when they're making the software. So does it say much about that on here? It doesn't, but it will do when we develop software. So if I come to develop software, let's just accept those for now, don't care. So SCM, so source control management. So have all your project files synchronized in one place, reduces bugs, and makes your employees more efficient during development. So it's a bit of a no-brainer. I didn't want to get bogged down with that early for the sake of this being easy to follow. But we're going to have very small server room, just like this. And yeah, we'll keep to a 5-man team in there, because we're going to have a night crew come in. So for our server room, all we need is a table. We'll grab these black ones again. And we need a door, a lamp. I don't think ventilation and radiators are too important when you do a server room, but I'm going to do them because they will be needed at some point. We'll grab a basic door. I like to use these non-glass doors for the kind of these service or maintenance type rooms, because it just seems a bit more realistic to me. We'll use Control T again here to search for the items we want to use. We're going to pop down just the one server for now. We don't need more than one. But that will give us the ability to actually set our task to the server that we now have set up. And that's just going to, as you saw, that's just going to increase our efficiency on these just a little bit. But let's get through these now. What I'm thinking is I might bring in my secondary dev team already, which I am going to do. So firstly, I want to make sure that he is set to being a leader. Yes. I also want to make sure, let's set up the team now. Sorry. So let's go core N for the core night team. And I want this office here and this room here to be available to both core teams. But I also want to limit this room's usage to leaders if I hadn't already done it. So what that now will enable us to do is, first and foremost, we can hire a lead designer, secondary I mean. No compatibility is necessary. And we want them to have HR, socialization, multitasking. Looks good to me. Born leader. And we've got 3 people. Compatibility doesn't matter. This guy's got good skills. That's a no. That's a no. So you are our leader. Let's come to our employees. Night team, change the roles of Oakley. Set her to a leader and change their roles. They can be secondary in programming and design. And that's it for him. Now, I am going to go to the same size team as my core team. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I think it's worth setting a night team rather than growing your core team. First and foremost, with your projects, you have I don't have one active right now, but you have diminishing returns if you go over the recommended amount of people needed to produce a project. So I don't actually know for sure that it works like this, but what I want to do is I want to keep close to that recommended structure without going over the numbers in each individual team. But by having a night team in my head, they're not working at the same time, so I'm not going to get those diminishing returns. I don't know if it works like that, but that's my theory. So let's come back to our hire screen. We're going to go with 3 artists with seconds in programming or design. Let's go, just put both of these in. We're compatible with the night team. No born leaders. And we'll get rid of the hypochondriacs, the stressed, the cup holders, the forgetful. And yeah, we'll get rid of born leader for that. I'd rather that. So, oh no, we didn't want born leader. I've already got my leader. So I'm glad that we did that. So this is an artist, seconding and programming. 2D. This guy can do 2D, but all the other things, he's way better. The other guy might be okay, but we'll switch this over. I want an artist designer now. The other guy could design, actually. What did he have points in? He had points in 2D, so we want audio to be at the top. We can just take out 2D. And there we go. So we'll go for the bottom guy because he can do designing and programming. I want to hire again, and I want them to be a second in designer, first in programmer, second in artist, I meant to say. We'll go to medium salary now. We don't need to be quite as aggressive on this. I'm not going to worry about specializations. I want them to be quite generalist. And this should... So we've got 2 employees in there already. We've got 3 spaces. I only want 1 programmer. The other 2 are going to be designers. So hardware, I don't need points in hardware. System and 2D. And a bit of art. 2D audio hardware. I don't want to waste points on hardware. Like this guy, like this guy. it's going to be Beckett. Beckett is very good. And am I doing this wrong? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've also got a slot in my core team. But let's finish out the night team. I want to now get 2 designers. No secondary, because who gives a fuck at this point. And I'm going to filter by system. So I just want one of these guys. I really want a 3-star in system. That guy's very good. 3-star in system and audio. You're in. System and 2DO, you're in. So that puts our core night team at capacity. We can do one more into our actual core team, who can kind of... I'm going to just roll the dice. I'm going to take whatever we get given for this. But I do need a focus on either programming or design. It looks like we've got a lot of 2 stars in design there. In programming. So I think, again, I want it to be focused on being a designer. Into the core team. Yeah, designer, seconding in programming. Or maybe artistry. Hard to say. Let's give him a high salary. Don't want any points in... What's going on with this guy? What is happening with that? Why is it showing that he's got no stars? Because he's a lead designer. Yeah, you can go fuck yourself. 2D audio, no system. Might be okay. It's going to be Bryant. Right, so our teams are now at capacity. We've got 2 in both core teams, core and core night. We're going to do the same thing for support too. So support, night, add those in. They do need a leader office, but I'm going to skip it for now. So service support, no secondary, low salaries. Support night, we don't need to filter by it, my bad. I forgot to look for Night Owl on that other team. That could pose a bit of an issue for me. I've just hired a whole team and I wanted them to be specifically good at working at the night. So, whoops, that's my bad. Order by skill. Any 2-star people? No. So we'll just hire the top guy. And then we'll go by compatibility. This guy's good. That's our support team, our night support team taken care of. The only thing we need to do is actually give them the right schedule. So I want them all to work the same length of time. The core night team are going to come in here, and as are the support night team. And then this office here needs to be set to both support and support night. Yeah, I am really annoyed at myself, Ethereal, that I forgot to set that. I'm just going to see how I get on. I might have to fire the whole team if it doesn't go well, which it probably won't. So let's now... We've set them to the right time. We've set the rooms all correctly. There was one other thing I was going to do, but it escapes my mind. So the times are set. Let's just move forward for the moment. We've finished the update there. The assignments are now wrong for these. So support and support night, support night, core and core night, and how is the sales list doing? Yeah, I'm just going to ditch my efforts on Starfinders too. And we'll move forward. We'll get this update pushed out. Fuck it, we'll start this project now. So this guy wants to be educated. I want you to be educated in system. That's education done. Let's now develop software. Nope, your releases. We're going for another sequel to Starfinders 2. Our recognition is going up. We're going to keep making RPGs, but this time we're going to check the calendar. So we've got a sports game, operating systems, 2D editors, an RTS, and no other RPGs coming out. So until the end of 86. So we will make a sequel to Starfinders 2. Set that to our new source control management server. And this time we're going to make our own framework. So we will call this... I'm going to be very boring here. I'm going to call this RPG framework. And that's just going to be what it is. And then our 2D editor has to be image canvas. Our audio tool has to be... It doesn't have to be, but it's going to be Audible Deluxe. And then for our operating systems, I would like to get all 3 of these in there. Yes, I would. We'll come to the next page, auto balance here. Now we can see that our tech levels are going to be up already because we're making our own framework. Recorded dialogue will now be fine for us to produce because we've hired to account for that. But we do want to bring in a bit more story if we can, which we can do with just dialogue trees. We'll then auto balance 98% expected interest. That's really good. And it says approx 2 years. I'm hoping it won't take us anywhere near that long. With the new night shifts and whatnot that we've got, that will allow us to produce something a lot quicker, I believe. We don't need any funding. That'll save us some on royalties. We do want marketing, and I no longer want printing. We should be able to get away with ordering copies. We've got the money to do that now. So we'll save a bit on the actual royalties that they're asking from us. And we'll go with AFA again. We will indeed go with AFA again. Yeah. So let's develop that. We'll set this update to top priority. We'll just pause that for the moment. And we'll resume it right as we release our latest update. And hopefully, with what we're now putting together, and with a bit more of a team running on this, which we need to actually set. So core night team need to be on development for that. We'll now pump through this really fast. We'll be able to get through quite a few design stages, ideally. And then we'll hopefully have a bit of a success of a product. And we can then start thinking about expanding into marketing, into lore, maybe only a little bit of lore, and expanding our support team. What I do also like to do is I do like to set up a dedicated design team. I've tried recently to set up a specific team for artistry work, but I don't think it works very well. I'm actually tempted to not go for... Why are you waiting for the lead designer? It's Nathan. Oh well, that'll be okay. So is that going to do that every time I go to the night? So let's just have a look at this. We've got 2 years. I think that'll be fine. So as these guys leave, night team come in about now. And they're not waiting for lead designer, so that's okay. Must just be as we get towards the end of it. If I come to my staff now, I want to have some permanent IT support. And I'll do it the same for maintenance. And we'll go with no security for the moment. And we'll just let this keep pumping out on these things. What was I talking about? So marketing, law, a little bit more on support, and then we can expand into printing as well. We are obviously making a bit of a loss. Our sales have dropped massively. We're actually losing about 50k per month, which is not good at all. We've got 2 years, and we're going to run out of money in 6 months, 7 months. It'll be closer to 6 months. Why are we losing so much money? What were our bills there? Oh, it is March already. Okay, that was our big one. But we are getting through this very fast with the whole night team situation that we've got going on. What we're going to do is we're going to take, for a little bit, we're going to take contracts, and we're going to have our night team do contracts, and we're going to have our day team work on the product. And we've got this flexibility because of the fact that we have that wider team now. I'm always going to use the lead designer. That's just going to allow us to start to determine the actual specific score that they have with creativity. We'll accept that, and we will take the night team off of Starfinders 3 for the moment, because we need to bring in a bit more money. Did I set the SCM for this? I don't know. Okay, so I'm actually going to be doing these at quite a low quality, because that's how desperate I consider this to be. Keep switching up that lead designer. That was actually outstanding quality, so we're not too displeased with that. Promote this. Do it. How long? When do they go home? They go home at 6. I think they're a bit better at art than they are anything else. So we'll focus on more art-focused ones. Although there's no art on that, so I'm wrong. Our design stage of Starfinders 3 is actually going very, very well. Looks like we'll be able. Looks like I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to get all the way through. Actually, there's no doubt in my mind we're going to get all the way through. There's design stages on that. We'll push this forward. Promote that, and we'll take the next contract already. No bugs on that, which is good. Develop. And will we get it finished today? Yeah, that'll do. Burglars, we'll ignore it. They have come in the downtime, which is actually really annoying. So our money's still going, came up this month, actually. But those burglars are going to get away with shit. They called the police, they successfully looted. We lost 10k in that. Why are they idle? Oh, they're, that's maintenance. Okay, that's fine. Oh, don't have a contract for these guys. New lead designer. Okay, that'll start soon. I've got an award. A second place award. That's actually amazing. Where we're going to put that? We are going to put that in here for now. No, like that. Nice, we got our first award. There are a couple of other things. We've got research we're not going to dive into yet. We've got some training on this team here as a designer for, let's say, 3D. Yep, 3D. And we'll start to take points in 3D wherever we can. I want to be able to have the option of going into that. I need to keep these contracts going too. This might need the day team to come onto it, we'll see. Nope. We get away with that one. Inadequate quality, but we are doing contracts out of necessity right now. If I can get that business reputation up, we'll have contracts that will see us through a lot quicker, to be honest. And today, We'll pause that. Where are we at? July 1985. Yeah, we've got more than enough time to pause that. We've still got a year and a half. So they're going to go to both teams. Yeah, they're going to go to both teams. So we'll accept that. 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 And we'll leave this lower value one because, fuck it. We'll do it too. So we're going to pause these. We're going to do them one by one. Just bring in the money this month. Because it's a little bit desperate. So yeah, this is the downside of expanding too quickly. You know, I thought we were actually going to bring in money for a lot longer on Starfinders 2, truthfully. But that assumption has fucked me. So you do need to be quite careful when you expand, or you can end up in a situation where you're not making a lot of money. And, you know, I'm now spending more than I'm earning. I could actually fire some of my team if I wanted to, but I can use this as a way to level them up, essentially. So it's not the end of the world. We're getting through these contracts, which is good. And we'll resume this for the moment. And we actually did turn a profit. No, we didn't turn a profit. Yeah, we did turn a profit last month. Okay. So we're not in such a hairy position anymore. We're going to stay just on Starfinders 3 now for a moment. We will take the higher value contracts like this. This is an absolute necessity, because that is big money contracts. Any big money contracts we're going to be doing. And we'll let them multitask. Because I think we'll be able to handle it just fine, truthfully. We'll let this go further. We want to make sure we give good quality on this. Outstanding quality. Nice. So any that come up, we'll make this smaller now. Any that come up that are going to be that higher income, we're going to take. Because that should be enough to then just tick us over. We've got a lot of idle people, so we'll take another one. We'll make this top priority, so those that can work on that. As soon as we see this idle number go up at all, then we will work on this. We'll open a contract, I mean. So yeah, we're getting a lot of the night team not being able to work on this project. Why is that? They're not assigned to it. Okay, that's fine. So we'll carry on then. We'll take this big contract. We'll continue with education. This guy, we'll put him on 3D because I do want to start gaining points in 3D. This design phase is going very slow now, which is actually quite annoying. But everyone is on it. Okay, yep, you can just all take the pay for now. Take both of these. Probably a few too many tasks for them. They're going to get annoyed now. But our hand is forced. We're probably going to have to take a loan pretty soon. One of your other options is to invest in other companies through all companies, but I'm intentionally leaving that out because I don't want this isn't a tutorial, but I don't want this video to be focused on how you can make money through investments, because I feel like this is what we're doing now is kind of feels like to me the legitimate way to actually do things here. We could have done without that fun. So let's have a look. Slow down time. So we can see if we open up that data overlay again, just move this out of the way. We can see that after a fire inspection, the red rooms are the ones that need fire alarms. So we'll grab the fire alarm. We'll place that there, in there, in there. We'll move this one to there, in fact. And there. So we've now still got some orange, which means they need some sprinklers. So let's come to sprinklers. Place one in there. One in there. And one in there. Now that should be okay. We need to remember to place alarms and sprinklers as we expand, however. Let's take off that filter. And then let's look at these contracts. So we'll just make that on the max. Outstanding quality is what we like. Just want to get this to 3-star. We might be able to get out of the woods if we can get that to 3-star. Yet to be seen. Getting close to a year left on this. Getting close. Need some higher value contracts. I'm officially in debt, so we're going to be forced to take a loan here. So if you end up in this position, you've got the option of going for a bank loan. You'll notice it says apply for loan at the bottom though, so you won't be able to do a bank loan until you have someone in accounting. I think you can do it with just one person, but it will take longer. But you want an accounting team to be able to do that. So we're going to take a quick loan. We're going to take the maximum over the maximum term, because we're going to look to pay that off as soon as we possibly can. And we will continue to do contracts, I think. Well, given it's under a year till we need to release, after this contract, we'll put all of our focus into Starfinders 3 for a little bit, just to make sure we're in a good position for it. And let's just get this out there with some bug fixes too. And then we should see this tick over and be ready for promotion any second. Our followers are low. Our publisher isn't as good as the first one for this. But again, that is what it is. I do still want to keep an eye on the contracts. We don't have a higher one available to us just yet. Yeah, and we're just putting all of our effort into Starfinders 3. Let's do an early review. Just a small one though, because I want to see. Yeah, our relative score is good. Creativity is low, but that's okay. Development is fine. Development's absolutely fine. So we're going to carry on with contracts because we really want to get this 3rd star. That's going to help us get out of the woods when it comes to money. And we can get through these very quickly, as you can see. Just like that. Outstanding quality again, you can see at the top. Let's start setting some lead designers for these. That'll do. We'll move the next one onto the next team. Satisfactory quality. The night team blast through this. We'll take the next one. Finish that one. Outstanding again. Take the next one. Finish that one. Oh dear, I'm using the same person over and over again, which is going to be an issue for me. Let's change that lead designer now before I forget. Although their creativity was still high. It's not too bad. Eight employees went on vacation. That is not good. $33K contract. Almost got that 3rd star now though. And we're just doing this to stay afloat. Our hand is forced, but it is pissing me off. I just need that 3rd star. And we should be alright. Just bleeding money though. I'm more than aware that I'm headed for bankruptcy. Thank you very much. The only saving grace is that we are producing this game before the tax month, which is March, which is necessary. And we should now have our 3rd star. Yes, we do. So as it ticks over into the next month, we should get a slight bit more income from contracts, which quite frankly is needed right now. How much are we losing? About 35k a month. There we go. We've got a big contract there. And that should now save us. Until the release of our game, I should say. Let's just make sure we don't tank our reputation. I should make sure these go out at a decent quality. 170k, no, 143k. Even better. Did I not accept that? I accepted the person, I think. And this will be the last contract. In fact, I could have done with not doing this contract. But that is what it is. We need to put the core night team on this. That's a big mistake. I didn't notice that they weren't on it, truthfully. And we're going to put this out at minimum standard. Like that. Right, that now gives us enough money. We'll full focus on Starfinders 3 now until release. We're going to see how much we're going to make from Starfinders 3 in its first month. And then that will mark the end of this episode. Hopefully, we get a really big success from Starfinders 3 and we use that to then launch into more endeavors. Basically, we're going to need to promote this here. I need to do a little bit of bug fixing and then we are going to release it. An unreleased press build. Okay, let's click no. Maybe it comes out in the morning. No, it doesn't. Yeah, I guess we're releasing it. Now, the followers was really bad. Although, that's a great set of reviews. So we are going to order copies. We're going to pause. We're immediately going to start on a contract with a new lead designer. And at the same time, we are going to update our new product, which will hopefully help with sales. If we can get this pushed out today, let's pause the contract. That will actually be a big bonus for the sales, assuming that it's going to sell well. The only issue I've got with it is, of course, the fact that we didn't have the sort of numbers on followers that we actually want. So we're about to find out if we're going broke or not. 0 active users. It was about 5,000 on day 1 for Starfinders 2. Oh, look at that. Look at that. 40,000 users. So we're out of the woods. We are out of the woods. We'll come in here. We'll just order some copies for now. I'm going to go 300,000 users because we will burn through that pretty quick. That puts fuck tons of money, fuck tons of units in stock for that. So that paid off. So this was meant to be beginner friendly. I've expanded a bit too fast there. I think in reality, you don't want to expand quite as fast as I'm expanding here. Maybe you don't do the night teams at all because you'll be able to then handle not using the contracts to make up for the difference in the extra salaries that you're paying. But Starfinders 3 has been successful. I think we also had the tax bill that month too. No, so it's going to be this month. Yes, that's right. It will be this month. So that's fine. That's not the end of the world. So we made it with Starfinders 3. We'll start to scale back support, probably update the bugs on these, make them their most recent things that they can be, like this. And then we'll minimize this. And then same for Starfinders 2. It's probably not worth it, in truth, but I like to do this just before I take them off. You should always do the bugs, but I like to bring the tech levels up to date as well, just so that they can fizzle out in a good state and make the most of the remaining available sales that you can have. So once these updates are done, we'll cancel support for those two, and we'll have our support team fully on Starfinders 3. And then we'll come back and we'll start to work on a 3D editor, because for the next sequel for Starfinders 3, we are not going to be doing 3D graphics because it's not supported by any operating system on the market. Okay, so it could be a fun idea until tech level 1985. Maybe we look at this here. We need 10 3D designers. There's people researching it. We'll be able to do it soon. I think maybe the first step is for us to start releasing some expansion packs for Starfinders 3. That could be an angle that we go down. Try and maximize the profits that we get out of that before we start expanding. But we made it. We made a success of Starfinders 3. We'll call that the end of episode 2. And if you do want to see more of this, please do like and subscribe, because I'll only continue this series if, of course, you're interested in seeing more. But thanks for watching, and goodbye.